Welcome to Stalcraft. How's everyone doing? So, I wanted to do this somewhat of a guide for new players, people first stopping into Stalcraft, because I didn't see anything like it when I first started playing, and there's some things that I really wish I would have known before I started playing to make my first time adventuring through this wonderful world a lot easier. Not a lot easier, just some tips and tricks that might make your time more enjoyable, less stressful as you're running through. First thing is settings. Some settings to go through and change. Playing on a little bit of a lower FOV is nice. There is some visual recoil that you'll have, so lowering that down just a bit will make it a little more easier when you're shooting, especially with iron sights in this game. If you don't like blur, turn blur off. It's mainly when you're aiming your weapon, it kind of blurs everything around you, kind of throws it off. It's annoying to deal with, but play how you want to play. Squat without holding is just toggle crouch. Super nice to use, especially if you're in a PvP fight. Your preference there. Toggle sprint, I would recommend having this on. You're going to be sprinting everywhere. So use that to your advantage. It was recently added in a newer quality of life updates. They're pushing a lot more of those, which is nice. These you can go through and change as you want to. That's kind of your choice on that. The only other one is your number of death waypoints displayed. Turning that up to 2 or 3 is nice. That way if you're dying, going back to your original bag, it's still there. If you do this after you die, it won't show that initial death point, so you'll have to kind of work towards that and remember where it is. Play around with your hit marker design if you want different ones. They don't show options when you're clicking them. Just choose which one. Try it out. Hit a couple things, see what you like. Sensitivity, your choice. Play through it. It's up to you. Sound, same thing. Everything's genuinely however you feel that you want it. Graphics, it's not a very demanding game. If you look at it the way the graphics are set, you can pretty much run this thing on max. I think I've only changed a couple of things. That's why it is set to custom. Other than that, run it on high. If you have anything from a mid to a high tier computer, you won't have any issues. Controls, you can rebind anything you want. The game does a very good job with the tips and like the tips. If it's saying your mind lie down and stand up is 7, normally it's Z. It tells me in those tips and tricks, especially during the tutorial even, that my 7 is to lie down. They do a good job with that. Performance, just limiting your FPS, your V-syncs in here, dynamic, however you want to go through those things. That's all for settings. The first thing that you're going to end up doing is you're going to get hit with your main quest, Pocket Guide. This is going to walk you through a lot of the ins and outs of your base that you're in. We are in Boathouse. There's bases all over, so ours are Boathouse for bandits, Photon 2, then you have the bar, and that's all it's for the southern zone. For stalkers, you have Adamins HQ, you have garages, and the bar as well. It's a combined area. With that being said, it's wanting us to open our PDA. PDA is going to be your main source of everything. So they actually break down weapons, devices pretty well. You can look at all the stats of each one. They do have some useful articles like making money, searching for artifacts. Read through them. It'll break it down pretty well. I'll end up putting one of these out, going through each one of those a little more for you in depth and what they exactly mean if you're not familiar. Your task, this is where all your tasks will pop up. So right now we have Dugout Stash. Here you can make it so it won't show it in the world, so you don't get the waypoint hovering in the open world. This is to pin it to, or making it active, pinning it to the top right of your UI here so you can see it. Map is no different than hitting your M key on your keyboard. It's just pulling up the overall map. Auction, you won't have access to this for a little bit still, but there is things you can buy here. Don't focus on the auction in the beginning. You don't need to. Selling some things in there, sure you can, but don't worry about it at this time. Focus on just leveling up and playing through the game. So first thing it's wanting you to do, and all that we really have access to do, is to go do our first quest. So once you walk out into this area, you are now in the open world. For our zone, we're in swamps, which is all the way up until you see the swamp roadside cross. this will push us into the next zone area. But right now we are in swamps. And what you're going to notice, first thing in that top right, I'll put a circle around it, is it shows 2. There is an audible noise when someone walks into your vicinity or leaves your vicinity. So as that guy's running away, you'll hear the little beep here in a second, right there. That means it went down to 1. There is no one in my general vicinity that I need to worry about. So it's what, about 80-ish some meters, 60-ish some meters? What that means is if you're out exploring and that number goes up, there is a real person in your area. It does not distinguish between enemy or friendly faction. So you kind of got to keep that in mind in what's all going on. But we have the floating icon. It's also on our compass. So what we'll do is we will just kind of trudge that way and make our way there. This game, you will spend most of your time running around. It doesn't take very long to run from place to place, but it is strictly just running. As we're coming up here, we're going to run into our first mutants of the first animals or enemy type in this game, and they're going to be mutts. So we can start taking shots at them here. They're going to push us. Your middle mouse click is your melee. You can just sit in melee. So your quick melee is middle mouse button. Otherwise, if you hit your 3 button on default, you get your melee weapon out, and you still have a quick attack. And then your right click is your strong attack. Strong attack will do more damage overall, but is a little bit slower. So play with that how you would like to. But if we keep heading towards our waypoint, it still gives us our meters away. Everything in this game is run on the metric system. So first thing we're running into is our first anomaly type, which is a vortex. How these guys work, you take out your bolt and you throw it with the right mouse button. You can see that it has a somewhat of a range to it. If you walk into it, it starts to suck you in, and you need to try getting out as fast as you can. If you get sucked in going up a mountain or an edge like this, say it's right here, and you try to walk out through the up mountain, the up slant, it's going to be very difficult to get out. Always try to run away from them on a flat surface or where there's a lip down so you can get out easier. Some of them are genuinely just stronger, but you usually can get out of them. But if we check this, it shows that's our ridge there. That's the edge of it there. So we will just walk in between them. They're not going to do anything to us. And we're going to walk into our entrance door. Now that we're in here, this is just part of our main quest line, so we're just going to walk around. Same thing. Now we have a different anomaly. These ones are an electrical field. If you walk into them, they hurt. They hurt a lot, especially in the beginning of the game. So we'll heal up. But if you take your bolt, throw it into the middle of it, and run past, it'll respawn in a second. But we didn't take any damage because we dispersed it first with a bolt throw. Now we'll come over here, interact with our quest item. And now same thing, we're going to disperse it first, run through. Nope, now we're going to wait for the next part of the quest here. This is, what is happening is called an eruption. They happen usually about every 4 hours in game. And what they are doing is they reset some items, but they also respawn artifacts. Or artifacts start spawning. We'll go in detail about artifacts in a little bit here after we grab this one for the quest. So we'll disperse, grab, and run away before it respawns so we don't take damage. And now we're going to head our way back. We're just going to return to Leiden. So same thing, be mindful. You have your 2 vortexes here, or shredders, depending on what the game actually calls them. Most of us just call them vortexes. And now we're just going to run our way back to our boathouse camp here, which is marked for us. That's where our next quest is. So we'll just make our way back that way. So now that we're back inside, Leiden will be talking. He wants us to talk with him. So we'll make our way upstairs, interact with him. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm going to click through things pretty quick here. I would say read the storylines as they're talking. Everything they're saying is in Russian. Read the storylines. They are well written. They are enjoyable to actually read through. Some of them have cutscenes. They can be really enjoyable. Oh, we gotta go back upstairs here. So my reputation is the next quest. This part of the quest is gonna run you through each in person and what they do in our actual base here, boathouse. So if we interact with this, this is your boathouse level. So each HQ, your base that you go into in each zone has a level. Each level is represented to do something else, or the next thing. So we're level 1. So right now available, we have the Researcher, Merchant of Supplies, Fence, Merchant of Gears, and Mechanic. If you hover over 2, it lets you know what you get at that next level. So we need 50 points to get to our next level of Boathouse, which then we get new merchant offers. Then at level 3, you get new merchant offers again, meaning you're unlocking more of the items that he can sell to you at this base level, or at this base. Plus, you get 20% the cost of selling artifacts and mutant parts to the fence. So making your money you get more money for the items you sell to him. Plus, you get discounts on research and repairs. 4, you just get another new set of merchant offers. So if he sells you new ammo types, whether that's expanding or different med types. And then once you have it maxed, you have his full inventory of everything a merchant can sell. You get 50% more money for selling artifacts and mutant parts to him. Then you get the discount on repairs and research. And then you also get an additional shelves in your personal storage. So now he's going to have you go through and go talk to the scientist who does the artifacts. We'll go over artifacts a little bit more in here in a minute. But if you talk with him, he wants you to turn in this one. So you will shift click, or you can shift click or drag it in under the research tab. Click research. It has now been researched. So now he wants us to take it to sell at Defense. So this is showing you kind of the steps to take if you're wanting to sell items or research the artifacts that you do find randomly out in the world. But we're going to drop it. We're going to sell that, take the money. Now he's going to teach us, or bring us to our barter tree, which we're going to go in a little bit more depth here than what they teach you or explain to you. So once you're here, this is essentially your progression tree of weapons, armor, and gear through the game. So what it's going to look like is you're going to see all of these things, and it's confusing, convoluting, and you don't know what's happening here. So if you click on this first weapon here, the AKS-74U, you look at it, you have 2 offers up here. So offer 1 is going to be 940 rubles, meaning you can just click on go to trade and buy the weapon. There's an offer 2 option, which this is an IOU from Linden. This is going to be, once you complete a quest with him, he's going to give you this, meaning you can take this and just get this gun for free from completing the quest line. If you wanted to say go the M16 route, there is only 1 offer. It's going to cost you 940 rubles. If you click go to trade, you can straight just buy the weapon and move on. How the progression works in this game, if you click, so we're Boathouse level 1. When you get to Boathouse level 4, you can work on your next tier of weapons. What that is if you want the AKS-74U, which is the assault rifle version, you would have to turn in an AKS-74U, which is this gun, plus some bartering materials that you get from killing the mutants in the swamp or animals, as well as the items from killing people in swamps, which is swamp stone and green mold. That's how tree's always going to progress. So as you get to the next one, you would turn in the AKS-74U, plus to get the AKS-74M, plus you're going to turn in the next zone's materials, bartering materials that you get from certain places and doing certain tasks in there, plus the money. But they have all sorts of types. So you have SMGs, machine guns, snipers, shotguns, assault rifles, pistols, melee weapons. You also have backpack containers, and work your way down all of these different types of material or attachments for weapons and some other devices. You also have your armor, which you have 3 types. You have combat, scientist, combo. Combat is exactly what it sounds like. You have more bullet resistant, laceration, explosion, and bleeding protection. Scientist suits will have less of the bullet, laceration, explosion, bleeding, if not none. But they have more resistance to electricity, fire, chemicals, and protection from radiation, thermal, and bio, as well as psi emissions when you get into the higher ones. Combo is exactly what it sounds like. It's a combination of both of them. You get a little bit of both worlds. It's not always the greatest, but it can be a nice inner area if you're wanting to get through some of the areas that have some radiation, but also don't want to be one shot by most things. Starting out, for your first suit, having combos is nice. Combat is nice if you're going to push more PvP. Scientists, if you're going to go more exploring into some of the areas that have different elements happening that are causing you some issues with radiation. But as you level up and progress through, when you start getting into that photon area and the bar, you're going to want to focus a scientist suit. The only reason I say focus a scientist suit towards that mid game is you need a good scientist suit to make your way through most of that mid to late game stuff. And when you get to grinding your barter tree later when you start getting up into these areas, getting some of these materials takes hours of grinding. There's ways to bypass some of them, but it takes a while to actually get through all of that material. So focusing a scientist suit was something I wish I knew sooner, because it's making my time now running with some of my friends in the group I play with. I have to be popping certain meds more. I have to go and farm to get this suit again, or start to get this suit for the first time. So knowing to go for a scientist suit in the beginning would have been a little more nice to know. In regards to backpacks, you have to wait till Boathouse level 3 to get your first backpack, but you can work towards your containers to kind of get you going here on those ones. I think on my main character, I have 3 backpacks that you can wear right away that I'm planning on giving away. So if you're new to the game, started out playing, and you're not in Photon 2 yet, leave a comment, and once I get, depending on how many people comment within the first, I'd say 5 days, I'll just do a random drawing. We'll just spin a wheel. I'll message you in-game. Make sure you leave your in-game name with your comment, letting you know if you want a bag, and I'll mail that bag to you just to give you something to kind of get you going, especially on the carry weight side of things. Now that we went through our barter tree, the next thing is how do we level up our base? What's the easiest way to go about leveling those bases, getting to that next tier so you unlock more of the merchant items and things like that. But if we continue through what our quest line is wanting us to do, is now we're going to go talk to the mechanic. He is here to repair armor and weapons. So if we get through here, you can drag click, or you can drag it over to that repair section, or you can shift click it over. You have 2 types of ways to repair it. You have repair points, which you get for completing certain events, and doing things in-game will reward you with repair points. The other option is rubles. So usually you will always have repair points. It's not something you run out of often. I don't know anyone that has ever run out of repair points. But that repair points is under your funds tab in your inventory in the top right. You have your repair points. You will get a lot of them. Don't worry about it. It'll always default 2 repair points to repair it. So we'll just click repair, shift click it back, and we can leave this inventory. So then if we talk to the mechanic again, just to finish out his little quest line, he gives you a muzzle brake. With that muzzle brake, if you shift click your gun into your inventory, or equip it, and shift click, then you can just shift click or drag that old flash hider to your gun. If you right click on it, you get you can get this little menu, but if you shift right click on the gun, it'll pull up your modification window. What this will do for us is it allows us to see the actual information on our weapon and the different stats for it. So you have 2 different ways to look at it. You can look at the base properties. This would be without any attachments, any changes, any upgrades to it. Your final properties is with all your attachments and upgrades that are in it has been calculated now. So first thing we know, it's a 9mm ammo type, meaning we need to make sure we have 9mm ammo in our inventory. It does 22.6 units of damage with a 32 mag capacity. Maximum distance is 100 meters, so anything past 100 meters you will do absolutely no damage to. It has 570 shots a minute for rate of fire. Reload is 55. Tactical is 2.05, which means if it's completely empty, it'll be a faster reload. Weapon ergonomics, I've only ever seen them at 100%. I don't know what that exactly does in this game. It might be something they're working towards. I haven't seen yet. Your spread would be as your ADS down sight, how much your bullets are going to deviate as it's traveling. So the further away, the less likely chance you are going to hit. Thinking of it as an MOA, so you're grouping at longer distances. Your hip fire spread, exactly as it sounds, is if you're not ADS, you're hip firing, that spreads a little bit more. Vertical recoil would be your actual recoil. The lower that number, the better. Horizontal is from side to side. Same thing, lower is better. That is what it is. Draw time is going to be if you have your pistol out and you switch to this weapon, it's going to be 0.8 seconds to pull that weapon out, pull the chamber back, and be ready to go. Aiming time, 0.2 seconds, so how fast it goes from hip fire to actually ADSing down sight. The other things you're seeing are damage modifiers. So every weapon has these modifiers in a certain range. Some of them might have more damage to mutants. Most weapons are going to have just these two. What that is that means for a headshot is times 1.25 damage, meaning that it's going to take 22.6 units multiplied by the 1 times 25 for headshot if you hit a headshot, which is going to give us a 28 damage increase, and limb will be a 0.7. So if you hit him in the arm, the leg, that's only going to be a 0.7. The next thing you see is the continuous, or actually the attachment properties. So from our attachments, we're getting minus 0.5% spread, minus recoil at 1.35, and horizontal. The other thing is overheat after 48 continuous shots, meaning if you hold down that trigger the entire time it reloads, you keep holding it down, it's going to overheat. It's going to go through a reload animation to cool down. It's the exact same time as a reload animation, but it doesn't reload the weapon, meaning you'd still have to reload the weapon. And then you can go back to continuous firing. If you were to shoot 20 bullets, stop for a second and shoot another 20 bullets, it won't start triggering that continuous fire. So if you shoot for a couple rounds, stop, shoot a couple rounds, stop, it won't trigger that. The next thing you're seeing is the damage reduction at a distance. So up to 8 meters, we get our full 22.6 units of damage without hitting any headshots or limbs. From 40 to 100, it is on a downward slope of damage from 22.6 to 14. So the further away at 9, 10, 11, 12, up to 40, you slowly start dipping down. But 40 to 100 meters is a flat 14.1 units of damage. Unless you hit a headshot, that headshot multiplier still applies to that 14.1. So now that we've done all of that, they want us to go talk with Lyndon again. So we'll go talk with him. Alright, so now he's going to give you stuff that he wants you to open your personal storage. So this is going to be, you can access your personal storage when you are in a base, which is considered a safe zone. So in the bottom right, it says you are in a safe zone. You can open your personal inventory. You hit tab, it's going to give you a blinking light or whatever your inventory is. I think it's E. But if you hit tab, now you have some new stuff in your stash here. What you're seeing are crates of grenades, bags of first aid kits, and pouches of ammo. How these work is these are bound items, meaning if you have this out with you in the world, they're heavy, but if you were to die, you will not drop this item. But if you right click on it and click use, it's going to give you 2 grenades that are now dropped upon death. These are not bound, but the crate is. You can also, if they're in your inventory or even in your personal stash and you hold shift and right click, it'll still use that and give that to you. Same thing goes for your medicine bags or your bag of personal first aid kits. Same thing, if you click use, it's gonna do, and then shift is the same way. Same with ammo bags. These you will not drop, but if you use it, these rounds are now dropped upon death. The other thing that's nice to carry with is band-aids. Always having band-aids on you is a good, especially if you get hit with bleeding, you can stop that bleed and then start healing. now that we're dealing with inventory, one thing to go over is you have a quick wheel system in this game. Whatever your heal button is, I think by default is C. So if you tap C in the bottom right, it's going to start using a med kit for me because that's what it's on right now. But if you go into your inventory, and you can number things in this game to set to your Hot Wheel function. It's a 1 through 9. So let's say we put our bag of medicine on 1, you have your medkits on 2, bandages on 3, ammo on 4, and you can also number weapons, so that way if you're running 2 types of primary weapons, you can hot swap them this way. So if now that we numbered items in our inventory, if you hold C, or whatever your heal button that you rebound to is, you get this radio menu. Meaning you can hover over it, you can drag your mouse, hover over it, release that hotkey button, and it just equipped our SMG from our inventory to our actual primary slot. Same thing, if you hold your same thing, but press the button relating to the one that you set it to, same thing, it equips it for us. The nice part about these is, let's say we are out of ammo and we're out of medkits, right? We don't have any in our gun, nothing we can do. If you hold C and you hold C, hit 1 or drag over your whatever your hotkey is for it, whatever you set it to. Same with our packs of ammo. As we're running, we can open both of those. So now we just gave ourselves medkits and ammo. If you run out and you're running away from people, monsters, whatever you're doing, you can pull your ammo out and keep moving at least without having to actually interact with your inventory. So we'll continue going through their quests here until it tells us we can head down. So in this game, you have 2 types of quests. You have your main quest. You have your main quest, which is going to be your gold one, but you also have your purple quests, which are going to be all of your side quests. Leveling up the location you're at, so we're in the boathouse. To level up boathouse, you have 2 ways. You have doing side quest, doing main quest, but you also have doing the little world events that we're going to go over in a second. Side quest will give you more than the events out in the world, but they do take a little bit longer to do. Just kind of how they are. But they do push you you get other rewards from completing them. You get XP towards your location. You also, some of the quest lines will give you weapons or tickets to unlock different things in your barter tree. So I recommend doing all of your side quests, doing all of your main quests in your area until you progress to the next one. That way you don't have to keep running back and forth, and once you're done an area, you don't have to come back unless you truly want to. But now that we're going to go venture out into the real world, let's make sure we have ammo, which we have ammo, we have med kits, we have plenty of med kits, we have ammo, we have an extra pouch of ammo with us. So always having an extra pouch of ammo is a nice feature to have with us. And then we have some food here. It's kind of hard because I only have the one type of food, but how food works in this game is there's 3 different types. You have a weak boost, which is under where it says purpose duration. Purpose is weak boost. So it's going to give us a stamina and a stamina regeneration. So we can take that as we go exploring. If we were to take another weak boost, which I don't know if I can, let's see if we can find some here. If we talk to this guy at the shop. So if we look here, this is another weak boost, which this stamina regeneration gives us 2.7. So if we go under effects right now, we see that our fish preserves are giving us stamina and stamina regeneration and is a weak boost. If we eat the same food, whatever one's better is going to cancel out the weaker one. So now if we look at it, even though we have 2 boost running, we are only getting the benefits of the better one. So stacking food that are the same item as weak boost, strong boost, stamina boost, whatever one is better is going to cancel out the other one. But now that we've eaten some food to get our stamina up, we have ammo, we have bandages, we have meds. Let's go take our second set of steps out into the world and go exploring. So our main quest is over there. I'm going to do a different guide on quest lines later. I'm not going to go to the main quest. So let's go visit some of these animal dens. You have a couple different types of dens. Any of them that have a footprint on them, like an animal print, are going to be animal dens. You have piggy dens, boar dens, rat dens, and mutt dens. You also have ghoul dens, but those are later in the game, and you won't really notice them too much right now. But if we just keep running towards them, we'll start seeing them here. So once we get here, you'll start seeing some of these animals out here.
Some jerks.
So what we'll do is we're just going to start taking them out. And as they're running at you and reloading, or if they're running at you, and just walk backwards and hip fire. They have a pretty good sized hit fire or hitbox for their head. So now that we finished them off, we get this little green arrow, or this little green box, letting us know that our den is complete and finished. With that, you go up to interact with it, and you're going to get some items out of it. You're going to get usually whatever or bartering material comes from those. So in this zone for killing mutants and completing dens, we're going to get our green mold, which we use for barter tree in the boathouse. We get season pass points sealed. That meaning once we get back to the zone, these will turn into season points towards the battle pass that is out at that current time of wherever you're watching this. And then you get some sellable items. So these items are only based for selling. You can shift click each one, you can drag click, or you can click X and take all. But now on the bottom, you notice we got 9 points of reputation towards boathouse. So this is one of your ways of leveling up your zone or that boathouse, is by just running and doing some of these events. You get sellable items, you get season XP, you get barter materials. Also, when you're killing animals, checking the loot of them is good. If you wait a couple seconds after you kill them, sometimes their bodies will return into this pile of lovely mush that has their remains. If you click on it, it'll show you that one of the pigs we killed dropped us an eye. So we'll take that eye. It's just for selling, but it is there. So you can, as you're running from quest to quest, hitting these dens is a good idea. You're getting sellables, you're getting points towards your reputation, towards your base as well, which is always nice, and it's a good mix of doing both of them. The other type of den that you see flashing over here is a military checkpoint, meaning that is going to be hostile NPCs with weapons that will shoot back at you as you are interacting with it and trying to take it down. If you look here on the green, if you notice we have green mold here, if we pick that up, you'll find these randomly throughout the world. It's just giving us some green mold that we can pick up off the ground and carry around with us. With this being an open world PvP, PvE style of game, if we look at the map here, we have our boathouse, but then the stalkers have Adamant's HQ down here. This middle zone, and about this size-ish, you will run into a decent amount of PvP. So when you're out exploring these areas, there will be PvP. We're actually going to run towards this. So what is happening right now is an eruption. We talked about it in the beginning. It's kind of nice to capture this, actually. We talked about it in the beginning during that first little quest scene. But when it happens, you have about 2 to 3 minutes to get to a safe zone to wait out the eruption. So right now on the map, it shows that there is a fallout shelter here. So we're going to pop into here, and we're just going to hang out while we wait for the eruption to go on, and paying attention to our top right number underneath where it says Swamps 3 by our minimap to see if anyone is coming into our area to also get in this one. Everyone shares their eruption zones. We are closer to the boathouse. I can't imagine we'll have any stalkers come at us, but there is a chance. So we will just we're going to have to wait this out. So as soon as this is done, I will be back. Alright, now that our eruption is done, we can kind of go back out to what we were doing. Give it a second. If screen gets real shaky during an eruption, there's nothing you can do about it. Just gotta wait it out and see. So let's go over towards this mutt den here. We're gonna let them kill us so we can see what happens with your bag when you die. Because we have some items that we drop on death, some we don't. These are bound items, meaning we do drop them on death, but we don't keep them. We'd have to go back and get our bag. So let's say you're out killing your den, hitting your dens, and for whatever reason, things just did not go well. So if we come right here, we're just going to let them kill us. They do a lot of damage. So right now, they attack the dog. Weird. So they're going to kill us. We're going to click respawn. It's going to put us back at the boathouse. Doesn't matter where you're at, you're going to spawn at the boathouse. So now we're going to make sure that before we run out there, for whatever reason we died, make sure we have ammo, make sure we have heals, and we are good to go. So we're going to run out this door, cut right, and now that we notice that our death icon is there, we can head back towards our death icon. So let's head back that way. And we will be there in just a couple seconds. It wasn't too far away. You have about a minute and a half before 2 minutes before anyone can loot your body if they were to find it, unless you were died to a player. If you died to a player, they can loot you at any point. But if we come up here and we click search, what you're going to notice, and this is anytime you find a player's dead body, whether you killed somebody, find a random one, you have your items, your sellable items are just left open. You have the ammo you can drop, meds you can drop, and nades. But what you're going to find is a lost backpack. Meaning this is our lost backpack. And this is containing green mold and season points. So if someone were else to find this, they can't do anything with it but drop it, destroy it, list it on the auction, or mail it back to you. I personally push to mail it back to everyone. Even if we're fighting and I kill you, if it's a waste from a base, I'm going to pick your bag up, bring it back to my base, and mail it back to you, so you're not losing as much progression that you were working towards. I find that to be a funner way to play the game. You're going to run into people that will ditch your bag in a random spot that you can't find it. It is the cost of playing an open world PvE, PvP game. It's just how it is. It can be frustrating. It's going to happen. You're going to have to work through that and understand it's just part of the game. But now that we have our own bag back, if you click on right click and unpack or shift click, now those items are back here and they are ours again. So now what we'll do is we can head back to here and get ready to pretty much continue the game from where you want to progress. Do your quests, do your dens. One thing to keep in mind in this game is the water is irradiated. So our suit that we are wearing has no radiation protection. It has barely anything, so working towards your next suit, leveling up the bar to level 3, or not the bar, the boathouse to level 3, get your next set of gear, making it easier. If you step into the water, you're going to start stacking radiation. When it starts to get into that 200, you're going to start taking more damage. It does slowly go down, but being mindful that you can swim through and get through quite a bit of water before you start taking damage. That red sign that's happening as I'm walking out in there is the boundary. If you stay in that boundary too long, it will just kill you and make you respawn. But for now, I think that's everything I'm going to go over in this news person guide. There is much, much more to this game. But giving that to you all at a point that there's nothing you can do with that information for at least 40 to 50 hours isn't mindful in my eyes. Giving that information in a second video after you've been playing for a bit will make much more sense. You'll have a better understanding how things are working and what to progress towards. As you are starting, though, one thing to go over is the season pass. So right now it's called the Black Market. And how it works is you have daily tasks, weekly tasks to work towards every day and things like that. So for instance, like we had to kill 15 mutts, help a comrade kill another player 2 times, so getting an assist, kill 5 military, use your first aid bag 5 times. So for instance, if we go into here, go to our personal storage, click 1, click 2, you get that little beep letting you know that you completed that task. If you go to progress or go to your Black Market, season tasks, daily tasks, we click claim. Then we go to progress. Now you've seen that we've leveled our season pass. You can click claim all. We had 7 rewards. If you go into your inventory, you're going to see them all here. So we got some black presents, which are the crates from this season that give rewards. You have style crates, which give you different items in there. They have premium. They have some skins for some late game items, weapon and armor paints, and then upgrade materials, as well as trade coins. We'll go over trade coins in the next video, as well as these advanced tools. Anytime you find tools and spare parts, save them. We will go over them in the next video, just so you have a better understanding of how those things are going to work. Beyond that, if you notice during my just under my character information here, it breaks down our vitality, stamina, our movement speed, carry weight, regeneration, stamina regeneration. All of our information about our character is here. The only thing you'll probably notice different from mine to yours is my bonuses here. I have premium on my main account, so I get the bonus earnings from events, bonus resources from events, and bonus reputation from events towards my boathouse level. I don't believe you don't have access to the auctioneer here, so you wouldn't notice that until you get to Photon 2, which is after you finish all of your quests in this area, side quests, and run up here and level him up a bit. With that, you can buy the season pass even from with in-game money. You can also buy premium in this game without spending any real money by buying premium with in-game money. As you progress through the game, making money gets easier and easier. I'll have a guide out here probably in the next couple weeks of making money in each zone. So from your starting zone making money, middle to late game making money. That way you can know what you want to progress towards. Otherwise, if you're enjoying the game and you want to buy your premium with your own money, or if you want to buy a season pass with your own money, a couple ways to do that is you can click on stall coins to then replenish your account. If you are playing through Steam, buying coins for this game, there's two ways. You can buy it straight through Steam. What I recommend to do is to buy it through the website for your coins, and that's to buy straight through Stalcraft itself. What that looks like when you buy it through their website directly, if you sign in, log in with your Steam account, but you get bonuses for buying through them. So Steam takes a portion of the money you spend and buy their credits, so they lose a portion of that money. So if you buy directly from their website, you get bonuses. So if you're going to spend $20, you're getting an extra, or $25, you're getting an extra 375 coins. If you're buying $80 worth, you're getting a bonus of 2,400 coins. So instead of getting just the 800 or 8,000 coins you would get, you're now going to get 24. So it's worth it to do it through their website, in my opinion. But with Steam, if you do it, you can do the exact amount. So if you, for whatever reason, want to buy 799 coins, I think they changed it where now they round it to the nearest. They did. So they just changed that. You used to be able to put in the exact amount you wanted to buy, but you can manipulate how much you want to spend. So if that pack costs 799, you can buy 800 versus having to buy the 1,000 coin pack and feel like now you have extra money left over, so that it entices you to buy that next item. This way you can buy exactly 1 point over and you're not feeling like you're wasting as much. But you can then buy your premium, buy a season pass with it, and go from there. But I think for all guys, that's going to be it for this video. It's a little bit longer. I don't like having longer videos as much. I enjoy watching them sometimes, but if I want information, I want it quick and fast and to the point. There's just a lot to go over here. But if you're new to the game, just starting out, don't forget to comment which zone you're in with your gamer tag or your in-game name. After about 5 days of this video being out, I'll mail you the backpack if you win. They're just simple backpacks, but they're at least equivalent to the bars level or the Proton's first base, so it's going to give you more carrying weight to kind of progress through the game. I have 3 of them to give away. Just something to help new people get into the game and alleviate some of that initial stress of being overweight and running and walking. How the weight works, I didn't even go over that. You have your current weight, which we're 19 kilos. You have a slight overload of 37, meaning once you hit that 37 threshold, you only can walk, you can no longer sprint. And that walking speed gets slower as you work towards that 50. Once you hit 50 kilos, where you were at now in the game, you will no longer be able to walk. So for instance, if we just throw Those don't have any weight to them. So if we throw that on, right now we are 44 out of 37 kilos. This is as fast as we can walk. But if we split those and put, let's say we put this one back in storage and we'll grab 38. Now we walk a little bit faster, but we can't sprint. So the heavier you are, the more you can't move. But if we hit 57, we can still walk, but it's a very, very horrible pace until that's about as fast as you will get to move now. And that doesn't matter if you're laying down, standing, crawling, jumping. There's nothing you can do. You are just overweight. So keeping that in mind just for movement and as you're out farming things. If there's any other questions you guys have, please comment. I'm usually really good about responding to comments. Almost within the first 30 minutes that a comment is made, I get a notification on my phone, I pull it up, and I respond. And if I need to change things accordingly, answer questions, I'm here to help. Other than that, guys, enjoy the game, enjoy hunting. I hope you have a wonderful time here. It can be a brutal game. It is frustrating, but it is fun. So until next time, we'll see you later, guys.